You are listening to a Reverie original podcast. Please download the Reverie app to get the best in queer film, TV series, music, and podcasts. Stream out loud.
Hello, and welcome back to Podcast of Color. It is me, the most important host, the Hee-Haw Huntress herself, Faze. You know what? Because there was some shade on the week that I was gone about how we were gonna have a good show, so I'm gonna throw a little shade of my own. Do you remember that?
It was a more interesting episode.
It was a more interesting episode. Yes.
Yeah.
So anyway,
I remember that. It's on the hard drive of files that I have of everything for the podcast ever that only I have that no one else does. Yeah, I remember exactly where it is.
See, what you didn't have to do was all of that. That was too much.
But spot the lie.
Okay, roll call.
Anyway, we have a fifth trash bag, but really more of a high-end bag. Are Manolos, are those bags, or is that just shoes?
Those are shoes, basically.
There's no Manolo bags? Look, girl, I don't know.
When you said Manolo last time, did you think it was a bag and not the shoes?
Yes, I thought it was a bag too.
Low-key, that has been bothering me since that has happened. And I just didn't want to be like...
It sounds like it could be a bag. I don't know. Anyway, what's a high-end bag?
Hermes.
Prada.
Okay. Okay, Prada.
Oh,
we have a Prada bag with us.
Wait a minute.
This week. What? What?
Bae said Prada. I don't know. She was last season. I don't know if she's high end.
Well, I don't know what labels is what. So clearly that's not what I was thinking. Yes. So we have a Prada bag with us. The one, the only.
Krayshawn.
Ew.
Do you see that? Do you see how he just ruins your introduction? Like, that's
Wow.
disrespectful.
Wow.
Anyway, shout out to Travis Alabanza for joining us tonight, all the way from London.
Hi. I want to reclaim. I think I'm definitely still a trash bag.
Okay.
Aww.
I love it. Listen.
That's so sweet. They came down from the high and they came down to our level.
No, right? They're like, I'll come out back to the alley with you guys.
Thank you for being on, Travis. It's so sweet. What time is it again over there?
Well, we're now going up to 10 to 2 in the morning.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, 1:50 a.m. Yeah, but I feel like I don't sleep much anyway, so this feels even better.
Well, there you go.
Also, what are your pronouns so people know? No, I'm gonna not do the British accent this week.
Yeah, you can.
Yes, let's not do the British accent.
No. Okay, wait. Did we not get in the email that it was per request that I still hear the British accent? I need it. I think the two side by side would be so funny. But my pronouns are them, they, she, her, or princess.
Yes.
What about that bitch?
Oh, that bitch, definitely. But I thought that was a given.
Okay, that's fair. That's fair, Travis. That's so fair.
So fair. Cheerio.
Okay.
You know that it's 10 to 2 because we don't say 240. We say 10 to 2. I mean, we don't say 150. We say 10 to 2.
Oh,
Bass, what is that thing that you say? It's pip pip and all that sort of Is that what you said?
Pip pip cheerio and all that sort of rot.
Wait, is it too late for me to press hang up? We've already started.
Listen, you know all of my British slang that I got it from that episode from I Love Lucy when she goes to England.
Oh my god.
I cannot.
Listen, I'm telling you, I didn't even know that there was Black British people until I saw Harry Potter and the Sorcerer's Stone.
Are you?
And that guy got kicked out after Prisoner of Azkaban.
Oh, he did? No. Wait, he was in the latter ones, wasn't he?
Dean?
He disappeared, I think, for the middle ones, right? And then he just popped back.
Yeah,
He went to go
be a student for Annalise Keating in America.
Oh, true. Yes, he took a break.
He took a break.
That was it.
He decided to be American for a bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, he went to the historically black wizarding college.
Oh, wait, what would that be called? Oh, black magic. Oh my god, yes. Someone copyright
Our
it.
school of fried chicken and bad bitchery.
Wow.
I don't know. That's all I can go. That's all I got.
Flavor of love, bitch. It's a school. Try again.
It's a school, okay? And they're gonna be learning how to make collard greens. They're gonna be learning how to do all this other shit with their cauldrons.
That's called a plantation. But
Potions is going all up like the slave shit.
Pills and potions.
But not making shit float because you know your mama gonna tell you off.
Exactly. Like, bitch, how many times did I tell you, Tyrone, to stop levitating shit in this house?
You better Wingardium Leviosa yourself out of here.
If you don't want me to,
you better squadrify that room. That's a spell. That's a clean.
You better stupefy those lights off.
Bitch, I'm gonna. Wow. Dead.
Okay. Yeah. So we should actually get to the question of color.
Oh yeah.
What is that this week?
Okay, so the question of color is brought to us by one of our listeners.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. You guys didn't introduce yourselves. Do it.
Oh,
Renee.
Oh.
Okay.
Shit. Sorry.
I kissed you, Renee. I'm so sick of you.
Like, why are you like this? Like, who does this?
I just thought we were on a time crunch, so I just screamed my name.
You dumb bitch.
Like, just picture it like, you know, like little after school videos, like Renee, Days, John.
Oh my god, like on Zoom? You guys remember Zoom on PBS?
What is that?
Oh, never mind.
Zabumafu?
No, Zoom.
Oh.
What?
Never mind.
None of that is. That is spell, bitch.
I'm Rakeem.
I'm John, and bitch, I'm a cow.
Yes! About
But yeah, sorry. What was the question of color this week?
move.
You making moves.
We making move.
Okay.
I don't say meow.
The question of color is brought to us by a listener this week, Nathaniel. I don't know how to pronounce your last name. Racin. The question is, if we each had a fragrance, what would it smell like, and what would we call it? Who wants to go first?
Can I go first?
Travis goes
Yes.
first, actually.
Oh,
Travis is the
right.
guest.
Oh yeah. Whoops.
Guest first.
Sorry, I'm self-centered.
I'm gonna go. I go first.
Yes.
Okay. They're not gonna tell who was me or you because of that really great British accent.
Thank you so much. We're talking at the
three
same
of us.
time.
We have to guess which is which.
Wait. So it was what? What would the fragrance be called, and what does it smell like?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Okay. Damn. I think mine would be called Bad Decisions.
Yeah.
Ooh, very topical.
Yeah, you know. And I think it would smell like how you feel when you listen to the Ariana Grande song Bad Decisions.
I was just gonna say that's a song. Wow.
Yeah, it's late, so I didn't really come up with an original thing, so I'm just gonna take off Ariana Grande.
No,
She's moved on to Sweetener, so I'm thinking mine would be called Bad Decisions, and it would smell like screw that. It would smell like the last bad decision you made.
Oh my god.
Damn, mine would smell like a burrito
So it would
supreme.
like change.
What were you gonna say, Travis?
No, I'm good. That's me.
Okay. Rakeem, you can go next.
Sure. I don't think anyone will get this reference that we're talking to now, but mine would be called Diamond Dust, and it would be. I don't know if people remember this, but I know there's gay nerds out there that know exactly what I'm talking about. It would smell like in Final Fantasy X when you summon Shiva for the first time and her blue ass with these appropriated ass dreads, but we'll talk about that later. Comes out in her marvelous blue skin and she freezes the bitches to death and she snaps. Thanos stole her idea, stole her look. Who wore it better? And it's just like 9999 overkill.
Okay.
And
I don't know what that smells like.
I don't know what any of this means, but
it's okay because I'm not talking to y'all. I'm talking to the audience.
Oh.
okay.
Listen, if you know what I'm talking about, can you please at us at Trash?
Don't at me, at him.
The show, but okay, fuck promotion though, right? Renee, what would yours smell like? Grimes?
Wow.
Grimes.
It would be called horchata orifice, and it would smell like horchata flavored like butt cheeks, like really sweaty, hairy butt cheeks when you spread them, and like that like musk, that beautiful musk. It would smell like a combination of both of those things.
Like cookie butter.
Cookie butter.
Cookie butter booty.
Exactly.
Renee, I'm really disappointed you didn't say Elon Musk. Like
that is disgusting.
Oh, bitch.
I was
that
like,
would have been.
That's what I said.
Everything.
Literally, that's so gross.
I was like, please let Renee say it. It was gonna smell like Azalea Banks' sweat. It'd be great.
Well, but yeah, that's it.
Shall I go?
Yeah.
Yes.
I was thinking, I was gonna just give like a really serious answer. First, I was gonna say like, Debussy, but
I can't say
Debussy. No, it's really gonna be de mild, and it's gonna smell like Black and Milds because I really love the smell of Black and Milds. Like I hate like smoking, and I hate the smell of smoke generally, but. Like, I don't hate smoking, like, judgmental smoking. But, like, I mean, like, I didn't enjoy the smell of, like, cigarettes. But I do enjoy the smell of Black and Milds.
Okay. Yeah.
What? Yes? What?
Nothing. I don't know that specific brand of cigarette smell, so.
You guys... Oh. Well, Rakeem, you're black. Certainly you have.
No.
Black people love Black and Milds.
It actually smells really good. It actually smells really good.
Really good.
No,
yeah, it does smell good.
I'm laughing because I know the exact smell and I hate it. That's why I'm just kind of
really?
Like,
oh my god! If Mark ever came home smelling like Black and Milds,
oh
Mark,
god. Are you listening, Mark?
Mark could come home smelling like anything.
Wow. So
we're gonna.
I guess whose home he's coming to, not yours.
He's coming
Stay in
home.
your place.
He's going
nigger.
to chat.
Stay in your nigger place.
Oh my god.
Wow.
Just really quickly, mine's gonna smell like Good Intentions, and I'm calling it Chivalry.
Ooh.
What? Why are you giving me that face, Rakeem? I have good intentions. What
really?
happens afterwards?
That's the answer you gonna give?
You spray on my fragrance first, and then you spray on Travis's because you make bad decisions right after. It's a package deal.
They complement each other.
Yeah.
So it's just not gonna be Fleetwater. You're just not gonna do that today.
That's your brand, sis.
Hello. Get it.
This is very Nicki Minaj of you. Like I'm expecting a rant any minute.
Like
you're just going completely off brand.
Juice? Okay.
We need to call Kris Jenner. This is too much.
To freedom.
To freedom.
To freedom.
I'm so mad.
You think that Harriet Tubman was wearing fucking jewels and makeup when she was freeing the slaves?
Did you say when she was
From
fleeing
freedom?
the slaves?
Did you say fleeting?
Fleeting the slaves.
She was fleeing the slaves.
What are you doing?
No.
I have to go.
Okay, so guess what, Rakeem? You going to hell.
You coming right with me, bitch.
All I did was repeat what you already said.
And chuckled.
Okay, you know what? That's enough of this problematic ass segment.
Let's
Okay.
go.
Everyone.
We're going to move on to Minutes of Color.
To freedom.
Hello. Excuse me. That was Travis.
Black and Miles.
Stop me from speaking.
Oh, I'm out. I undo the clap.
Yeah, so we're back with Minutes of Color. I don't know, what should we start with? I mean, I guess we could start with the fan that rushed the stage in Atlanta
How fucking
the other night
dare
at
you,
Beyonce's
bitch?
concert.
Who the fuck fuck do you think you are? I'm so happy that you brought this up because I was waiting to go the fuck off. Bitch, do you know who the fuck? Actually, let me calm down. I'm sleep deprived and I'm angry. Like, how do they? Who do you? Sorry, let me calm. Okay, sorry. Go off, Face.
I'm not gonna go off. He got jumped by all her dancers, so I think he went off. Also, he got battery charges pressed against him. So, I think, yeah. I think he got.
Wait, he got charged in the end?
Okay. What you said? Was he trashed?
Was he charged in the end?
Oh, he was charged. Yeah, he was charged with battery. So he basically a fan at the Atlanta show jumped up on stage. I don't know how he got past security. I think everyone's like wondering how.
Wait, the Atlanta show for who?
For Beyonce and Jay-Z.
Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry. I you know what? I would automatically think that when it's Beyonce and Jay-Z, everybody already knows exactly what I'm talking about.
Right.
John and I's face just went, "Excuse me, bitch."
What other concert? Who else is on tour right now?
It's like Beyonce who?
Which Beyonce are you speaking of?
Beyonce. No, I'm talking about the audience. Like, if we're gonna introduce the story, we should probably introduce who we're talking about.
That's fair. Yes. So it was at the On the Run tour 2. He jumped on stage and got past the dancers almost immediately after Beyonce and Jay-Z walked off the stage at the finale. Wow. And he got through the I don't know, the exit or the entrance, the exit that they left out of, and not long after they walked out of it. So I don't know how close he even got to them, but he was pretty close. Yeah. So basically, all her dancers jumped him. I mean, that's what it looked like.
No, they did.
They jumped his ass.
They fucked up, bitch.
Is there a video?
They bucked. They was ready to fight.
They was ready to fight. Did you see what she did at the concert footage yesterday?
Yeah.
When she
that little kick.
That little kick she did. Oh, she's adorable.
She turned around really fast and kicked into the air as a joke, and I love that. She doesn't even have to do too much. She just does that, and it's just relatable Beyonce. I'm she's just like us.
What a goofy bitch. I love it. We stand.
Yes. So that happened. Oh wow, I really can't stop this British accent. I'm so sorry. I'm so aware of it now.
See, it just wants to jump out.
I mean, I guess we can talk about. I'm more the response than the actual event, but John McCain died last weekend. There's been a lot of hot takes. There's been a lot of he was a war hero, he was this great person, blah blah blah. And there's been a lot of the other side of that where it's just he's a war criminal and he's participated in acts of genocide and is anti-black and especially anti-Asian. The stuff that he said about Vietnamese people using slurs and just the things that he's voted for. He's voted in line with Donald Trump, I think 83%, or he had 83% of the time. So there's been a lot of back and forth. Personally, I got a good hearty chuckle. That's just how I felt about it. I just was you can't actively decrease the quality of people's lives and then die, and then I'm supposed to just be oh wow, what a great American hero. Right. I'm not gonna say that other people can't mourn him, but I was good, and I will be celebrating twice as hard when Trump dies. I'm definitely not gonna be sitting up here doing any of this. Oh, he was a good man. He was doing his best. Bullshit.
Yeah.
I despise him solely for the fact that he gave us Meghan McCain, and she
that's it. Not the voting against.
No. I mean, no. I mean, clearly the other things, but I'm saying that's that in and of itself. I don't know if you know this. You might have noticed this from Twitter base. I have a huge disdain for her.
I do know.
Oh, she irks me no tomorrow. Oh my god. So that's annoying. The best tweet I saw about this was someone that said, "This is a really sad day for John McCain's family," and I said, "Yeah, that's pretty much how I feel." Well,
okay.
I was gonna say that. What's her name? What's that? The new girl that everybody loves right now? The Alexandria Cortez.
Right.
She tweeted.
Oh, she was out there tweeting some. Yeah.
She said John McCain's. Huh?
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, she said John McCain's legacy represents an unparalleled example of human decency in American service.
Oh.
As an intern, I learned a lot about the power of humanity and government through his deep friendship with Senator Kennedy. He meant so much to so many people. My prayers are with his family.
Yikes.
And of course, she got like dragged because she's supposed to be our new like socialist democratic darling. And here she is saying all these things that didn't necessarily need to be said. I don't think that, and I honestly, I agree with a lot of the commenters. Like, she didn't necessarily need to say, like, she could have just said, you know, my condolences and left it at that. Like, she's at the end of the day a politician. Like, we understand that you cannot just be out here saying reckless shit. Like, she couldn't have posted some of the things that I posted on Twitter about it. And
right. She has to like kind of play the game.
Exactly. But she didn't have to go out here talking about his legacy represents an unparalleled example of human decency, because it actually literally does not.
Right.
It's the opposite, actually.
Yeah. And like a lot of people were excited and voted for her because of how, I think, you know, critical of the systems she seemed to be. And like to praise somebody like him who very much was upholding the system and like very instrumental in like the death of a lot of folks, then it's just like, what the fuck? It's very disappointing.
And it's also like in line with our great American tradition of whitewashing like racists' lives and valorizing who they were, mythologizing who they were. You know, and as somebody on Twitter like pointed out, like, this is like literally what we did with the founding fathers. You know, they were like slave owners and they were rapists and pedophiles, and today we're like, these were the great men who founded our country. And it's like, sure, like there's some great things that they did, but it's like you're not even allowed to really like talk about the bad things. It's just kind of like brushed under the, I don't know, the bed. How does that phrase go? I don't know, but it's sort of like swept away, basically.
And I'm always like, who gets to mourn peacefully when I feel like as soon as Black and brown people are dying, they're digging up stuff about us within the first 2 minutes. And I could not, I couldn't scroll like 2 things on my timeline without people being like, give the man a break, like he's just died, have some respect. And I'm like, where was this like last week?
Yeah,
exactly. They can't wait to like show like, I mean, even I can't remember that girl's name. We just talked about her on the show. She was killed in the Bay Area. The teenager,
Nia Wilson.
Yes. Nia Wilson, like the picture that a lot of the news were showing was, I think she had like a phone case that looked like a gun, and that was the picture. It wasn't even the most recent picture she had taken, but that was the picture that a lot of the news stations were running with.
Right. Like, what the fuck?
And it's like, I mean, that's a perfect statement, because we really can't even like be victims at all. We're always perpetrators.
Right, but they're out here giving like John McCain so much nuance, and you know what? It wasn't even just more the thing. Like some really good jokes on Twitter talking about his death that was just giving me like a good little laugh on my like morning commute. And then they had like all these people being like, you know, this is so sad. Like respect him, he's just died. And I was just like even he was so bad that even we in the UK like knew him as a politician for being bad.
Really?
Yeah.
That's crazy.
People are out here talking about it too.
That's crazy.
Yikes.
Anyway, I don't want him to rest in peace, so I won't even do that. What do we have next? Okay, so we could talk about Pearl. I don't know anything about Pearl, but you guys, I'm hoping do, because you guys watched RuPaul's Drag Race.
Yeah.
So Pearl is on RuPaul's, as I just said, RuPaul's Drag Race, and she relayed a story on
Hey Queen.
She was on Hey Queen
about
an experience that she had on the set of RuPaul, and it was like sort of an explanation for why I guess she didn't seem like she was like fully in it when she was on the show. So I don't feel like really reading the whole thing. But the gist of it is that she was like really like, I'm going to use Travis's word, gassed to be on the show with RuPaul. And so she like went up to her and was like, oh my God, like you're amazing, blah, 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 blah. Like, I love you, da, 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 during downtime, like after the cameras went off. And RuPaul said, "Nothing you say matters unless the camera is rolling." And she basically said that felt like, you know, it broke her spirit and it made her feel like she said she was maybe stupid for like wanting it to be more than that and like expecting more of RuPaul. But she was also like, it kind of broke her heart, and she, after that point, was kind of like despondent more so on the show.
That does explain it.
Yeah, and so like,
go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, just like to sum it up, like, you know, she's since done videos like talking about how like they have, I guess the producers have called her and told her that she would never be on All Stars because of this situation, like her speaking out about this.
That's terrible.
And there's been like a lot of like back and forth. Some people are like, fuck RuPaul, but other people are like, she's stupid. Like, how does she like really think that this was gonna go? You know, like, this is a show at the end of the day. This is not like a family. This is a group of people on a TV show to get paid. So I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? I don't know.
I'm like, I mean, always or never rather surprised at the way that RuPaul treats some of the contestants. I think that it's if I don't know, did y'all watch that season at all?
I did.
Not I.
I think it comes across like very clear that like Pearl is like absolutely not into it and maybe not super excited to be there at some point.
They like find her as being like flase da the whole time.
Right. And so and if it was a reaction to like her hero kind of being like, oh wait, like you know, this really doesn't matter unless, you know, it's for the show and that's it. Like this isn't actually, I'm not actually like, I don't actually care about you kind of thing. Then it makes sense. And it's also like, it's also really fucked up because that was a season that they started. They knew that Pearl had some type of childhood trauma, and they kept trying to like pry it out of her every episode. Like I guess they would send like other like contestants and be like, "Oh, ask Pearl about like her childhood or whatever." Or RuPaul herself would ask her like in certain parts, and she's like, "I don't want to share this with you." And it makes sense now why she would not want to share. Like why she like I guess brought it up at some point and then decide like actually this is not something that you need to know about. And it was really gross because even during one of the last episodes, this is the first season that they had done this, they brought out during, I think it was the final 4 or final 3 contestants. She
was top 3.
Top 3. They brought out baby pictures and they were like, of each contestant, and like they're like, if you could look at this child now and tell them something, like what would it be? And it was very obvious that they were trying to coax like that information out of her or coax a reaction out of her, and they got it. She like broke down, but yeah, it's just like I don't know, it feels really gross. But I do want to say like, and I saw a meme about this and it like was really like, holy shit, like y'all got like the nail on the head. It's like RuPaul has like kind of vilified or like really treated a lot of the contestants like shit, and like I feel like when it happens to Pearl, who's like this like conventionally good-looking white contestant, like there's like an uproar where there hasn't been in the past with like black contestants that were vilified, like let's say Vixen. Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So it's just kind of a weird thing to come into. Yeah. I don't know what y'all do y'all have any thoughts besides that?
Yeah, I agree. I think that was a shitty response from RuPaul, and yeah, even though a lot of people have spoken out about her behavior, it's kind of weird that Pearl gets the most attention regarding this, but at the same time, I'm really glad that she did bring it out, and I feel bad for her that she's like suffering the consequences of like potential bookings and like professionalism with this, but like all she was doing is like stating a fact, and like people want to know, and maybe it does take this like white girl to say something, because if like no one's believing anyone else, you know, it seems kind of fucked up, but like I'm really glad she came forward with it, and especially on a show that's actually on World of Wonder on Hey Queen. So like I don't know if she's going to be on any other World of Wonder things now, because the list is growing now, because it's Pearl, it's Courtney Act, it's Willem, it's anyone who's, and all those 3 are white girls, and like anyone who's speaking out against RuPaul is like axed. But I hope she still has gigs, and I hope she still like is successful just like the rest of them, because like there is more to drag than just RuPaul's Drag Race. So I hope fans realize that.
Yeah.
Any last thoughts on the subject? Anyone?
Not really.
Okay. Yeah, I don't really know enough, but I thought maybe you guys might get a kick out of talking about it. What?
Thank you,
that was not shade. I really I want to talk about things that everyone wants to talk about.
Oh, thank you.
And that doesn't necessarily have to be something I want to talk about.
That was shade.
Okay, so apparently there's been YouTube beauty drama. Okay, I never heard of almost any of these people, but the beauty community on YouTube is in an uproar.
Oh.
Yes, that was British accent yet again. Lord Jesus, I'm just so aware of it now. Anyway, okay, so I'm gonna try to keep this as never mind. I'm gonna try to keep this as short as possible. There we go. I'm not gonna try to pronounce words that I can't pronounce. Apparently,
you just pulled a Porky Pig.
Oh my God. I don't get that reference.
When he's like, well, he'll say like a really difficult word and then he'll just change it to a simple one because he can't say it.
Oh,
yeah, that was TI, but okay.
Okay, so I guess this all started because a group of the YouTube girls broke from Jeffree Star. One of them, Gabriel Zamora, their friend, they stopped talking, they stopped hanging out with each other, I guess, or whatever. Like their friendship ended or whatever.
They announced it?
No.
Oh. Okay.
I guess their friendship just ended.
Okay.
So, YouTuber Gabriel Zamora. Have you guys heard of him?
No.
Okay.
No.
I think he's Latinx and he's a beauty guru on YouTube. But he said, "Imagine standing a racist. I could never." He tweeted that on August 12th.
Yikes.
And he basically was shading, not RuPaul, Lord Jesus.
I mean, but
he was basically shading Jeffree Star, and he posted a picture of himself with Nikita Dragun, maybe it's Dragon. I don't know why I thought Dragoon, but it's a U instead of a O, so I was like Dragoon. Anyway, Laura Lee and Manny Gutierrez, also known as Manny MUA. So I know you guys have heard of Manny, right?
Yeah.
yes.
No? Yeah.
Not you assuming it was going to be no.
I don't know. But you know what? I'm just dead because I thought this whole time I thought his name was Manny Mua.
I'm so done with you.
I didn't realize that was what that was.
Hi, I'm Manny Moi.
Do you know what it stands for now?
Yes, makeup guru. No.
Makeup
artist.
Where'd you get the G from? She said, yes,
Manny Mug.
Yes, MUA stands for Makeup Guru.
Wow, they did not win the spelling bee.
Look, okay, bitch, I'm tired. I've been hungover for 48 hours.
So artist.
G. Shut up. Shut up.
Okay,
anyway.
Oh.
Somebody call Aquila.
Oh no. Why do I? Oh my god.
Bays in the bee.
No.
So Gabriel Zamora tweeted a picture of him with Nikita Dragun, Laura Lee, and Manny Gutierrez. And they all had their middle fingers in the air, and the caption was, "Bitch is bitter because without him, we're doing better." Now, apparently the beauty YouTubers, I need to not say guru, the beauty artists all have like stands or whatever. So Jeffree Star stands were not very happy about this tweet because they, I guess, knew that it was about their fave. They decided to go dumpster diving into all of these people's past tweets, and it was not cute because a lot of them got exposed for the hypocrisy. Let me see if I can pull up these tweets, honey. So I know that Manny, not Manny, I'm mixing them up. Gabriel, there we go. He tweeted, oh shit, I'm sorry. Lord Jesus. There's so many links. There's so many people involved in this. Oh my god.
Honestly, they're all racist.
This is so weird.
I mean,
this is so weird to me because I feel like several times people have come out and said like, oh, like don't fuck with Jeffree Star, he's racist. And then it's just like people that have been friends with him for years
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, why all of a sudden now, when you're not friends with him, all of a sudden was he not a racist that whole time you were friends with him? Like, you would know. You should know, I feel like. You pick up on that shit.
Yeah, so
And
Laura
so that's
He's been
like,
cancelled for so long.
yeah.
right.
Laura Lee tweeted, "Tip for all black people: if you pull up your pants, you can run from the police faster."
What?
Yeah. Gabriel's.
Wow.
They all said basically. I mean, I really don't have to read it for you, but they all said something really racist.
Wow.
Laura Lee also said something really.
Let me just Google Laura Lee.
Yeah.
To see who we're dealing with.
So she bled like out subscribers and
Damn.
yeah, she lost like a lot of fuck, I really cannot talk tonight. She lost a lot of her what's that when you collab with people and you put your name on their shit and they sell it? Sponsors, there we go. Yes, a sponsor. She lost a lot of sponsorships because of this. They've all lost like a bunch of followers, and they've all put out apology videos of them crying.
Oh yeah, that's what comes up on Google. When you Google Laura Lee, it comes up with her crying.
That fake ass crying video.
Screenshot.
It's bad.
It's so funny. She looks.
And the
she looks like a
Razzie
horse.
goes too.
She got dragged for that because she actually has a real like her. I watched some of the video and her crying is not convincing at all. It's really cringeworthy.
Let's put it like this: her crying makes Halle Berry's performance in Catwoman Oscar worthy.
Oh wow!
It's that bad.
Wow, you didn't have to do that. I was gonna go for Proud Mary to Taraji P. Henson, but we didn't have to do it either.
Wow. So
there's a way. I still love Taraji. I still love Halle as well. But yeah, so they all came out with videos like apologizing, crying, and calling them my truth and my apology and addressing this and addressing that. I can't tell if they're all people of color or not. Like, I don't know if Laura Lee is. I mean, clearly everyone else is.
I think she's white. I think she's dark white.
She's Ariana Grande white?
I feel like that's what she is, but...
Got it. Yeah, she got dragged multiple times because she got dragged. She posted this video, and in the video, I think she was crying and talking about how like she was like from the South and from Alabama, and so then of course all of Alabama Twitter jumped on her ass and was like, "Sis, this is not it." You have to backtrack from that, and they were like, "No, sis, just own up that you're a racist because I live in Alabama and I'm not a racist." And then she was like, "Well, no, it's because I'm from a small town." And some other people was like, "Bitch, I'm from Alabama in a small town too, so that don't count either." It was not cute. And it also kind of like, I mean, it begs the question that you brought up, Renee, that like, why is it all of a sudden that you guys want to call out Jeffree Star for his racism when y'all have been friends with him for years?
Right.
And now all these bitches have apologized to him.
Ooh.
Oh my god.
Yikes.
Jumped on Twitter and apologized to him publicly.
Wait,
so they're really just afraid of the...
How did they get to that conclusion?
Right. It's like,
Well, I guess I didn't...
Wait,
I
we're
didn't
being
really...
racist, so we're going to apologize to the racists? Wait,
Well,
what?
here's what happened. Here's a real timeline of what happened. They posted that thing with them throwing their middle fingers up in the air saying basically fuck Jeffree Star in a subtweet. The stands went through their old tweets and exposed all four of them. They then started fighting with each other because obviously, you know, when people like do some shit, they all start scrambling. And clearly they're not all real friends. Gabriel turned on Manny really fast and basically claimed that Manny had like lied to him about stuff with Jeffree, and then decided that he wanted to be friends with Jeffree. And
This is a mess.
Damn, I wish I caught this live.
yeah, me too, because I literally caught up on all of this today. And then Manny was like, I wish that I could apologize to Jeffree. Like, I wish I could change it all. And Jeffree is not having it with Manny, but I guess him and Gabriel are good again. Nikita hasn't said anything other than her apology video from what I've seen.
girl, this is ghetto as fuck. Like, this, Mona Scott Young has to be behind this. Like, or Shonda Rhimes. Like, aren't they just supposed to do makeup? Like, I don't, like, why is this, why is this necessary?
So weird.
Well, it's because they're all racist.
Oh, well,
They're all anti-black as fuck. That's what it comes down to.
That'll do it. If you're a racist, it can't help. Someone told me once, maybe it was the Vixen, actually. I think the Vixen said it about Eureka. She said something like, if you're not racist, you're having a really hard time proving that you're not. And I was like, well.
Oh, Nikita Dragon is a trans woman.
Yeah, she's like big. She's like really big. She's very famous on like Instagram and stuff. So that's really, she is.
Okay.
So that's like, oh, what the fuck? Holy shit.
Yeah.
So stupid.
I think her stuff was like, she actually was joking about like pedophilia. So that was what she got dragged for.
Yeah.
Oh my
she says,
God.
Yeah, she says something to the effect of, like a child was so ugly that it would never be. Yeah. So that was what she got dragged for. Hers, I don't remember if she had anything anti-black, but I know definitely.
Can I ask y'all a quick question?
Yeah.
Okay, none of y'all think this shit, right? Like, I don't either, because I feel like every week it's just some famous person that's just thinking this fucked up shit. And I'm starting to get to the point where I'm like, does everyone just think the shit and not say it out loud? Because,
right.
Like,
Oh.
I don't think that way. I just need reassurance that other people don't think, oh my God, look at that nigger. Like, when they're just walking down the street, you know? Like,
I think just most people are trash. I feel like that's what it is. I feel like if you don't kind of really confront a lot of the shit in yourself, because like we all grow up like internalizing like whatever, like racism, anti-blackness, whatever. Especially non-black folks, obviously. And if you don't sit and be like, okay, wait, like let me make sure that this shit is not in me, or if it is, like let me like root it out, like, you know, push it out, or like figure out what's going on, then I feel like most people don't have that process of sitting down with themselves and being like, and looking at themselves and be like, holy shit, like these thoughts or whatever, or these things that I have that are like ingrained on me are like trash, and let me just like push them out. Do you know what I'm saying?
right.
Yeah.
And I don't think, and I mean, obviously this is a big thing as far as anti-blackness is concerned, but like any type of, you know, phobia whatsoever, or fucked up thoughts, are, you really have to confront them and like really be like, okay, wait, this is fucked up, and so like let me let go of this, or let me figure out why I'm thinking like that. And and I would say for the most part, most people don't sit down and like look at themselves and really like you know, want to change that, or even know like that's something that they can do, or that they should do. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, no, that's totally, Rakeem, that's totally, like, when I hear stuff, sometimes I'm just like, holy fuck, like, really? Like, is that, like, okay, like, is everyone just secretly thinking this? And then, like, and it is scary. But
because it's like, who thinks shit? Like, I would have never thought to say, like, it has never crossed my mind to be evil enough to say something about, oh, if you pull your legs up, you, like, what, like, you have to think of this, like, shit.
Real quick, I was gonna just say that she did actually say so. She said, "Imagine being black. I could never." So,
Whoa,
I mean, it's not as bad as what the other one said, but you
Who
know,
said that?
We don't want
that was what Nikita said.
God damn, like
Nikita,
seriously, all trash.
man.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, yeah, I'm again not surprised whenever someone non-black says some anti-black shit. So, but like, what the fuck?
I just, at the end of the day, they're like all racist, and they're all fine with being friends with a racist until like, that's the thing I noticed. Like, it's funny, like everyone like loves to like jump on a certain train when they don't like the person, but what's really gonna count is when you are ready to call out the people that you do like. So,
but you know who never stays in drama? Black beauty gurus though. So
yeah, black MUAs,
like black
MUAs.
Yes. What was that?
Black Mua?
Black mugs, makeup artists. Brought to you by the letter 4.
Beauty gangsters.
Muggles.
Yes. Oh man, like, you know, like Jackie Aina, Alicia Ashley, Nima Tang.
Jackie Aina said some shit about Beyonce,
they
but we
stay
gonna...
Oh,
right
what? Oh god, oh no.
Yeah, she definitely said some shit about Beyonce, but it's okay. We gonna let it rock. Anyway, that was a cute little topic. I guess we're short on time, but real quick, I did want to just say that I finally saw Crazy Rich Asians, and I did not cry, but I was very close.
You said that you're he's?
Oh yes. Is it Philip? No, it's Pierre. Is it Pierre Ping? How do you pronounce PNG? Does anybody know?
I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay.
Pang.
Well, what
I
Pang?
meant
Is it
Pang.
Pang? That's what I thought. But then there's
Maybe,
Chris
I think so,
Pang.
yeah.
There's Chris Pang with a P-A-N-G. I don't know. Maybe they both have the same like pronunciations. But yes, Pierre Pang, Chris Pang, Henry Golding. I think this is the main guy's name. Ugh, just men on men on men. It's a train.
Choo choo, like,
And it was like,
yes.
you know what's really funny is like I really thought it was like the story itself. What I found was predictable. It was like I expected everything pretty much to happen, but they just were able to tell it in such an interesting way that I didn't feel like I was like it didn't feel boring to me or like overdone. It was a story I was familiar with, but it still kept it fresh.
It was interesting. It was an interesting experience because, like, on one hand, like, I was going into it like, I don't know what I'm supposed to be feeling. Like, I don't have the experiences to understand, like, for example, like, not, like, the Mahjong thing, I won't say, like, what happens. But in that scene, like, I knew that was significant, but I didn't understand, like, why it was significant. So it was actually really humbling, but it was also really nice to see other people. Like, I knew this was a moment that, like, other people were appreciating.
Oh, yeah.
So it was just nice getting to see other people kind of, like, have that experience. But I also think that there's a lot of, like, you know, valid criticisms that I've seen about it. So I've kind of, like, shut up because I don't feel like it's my place to kind of say,
I will comment on one of them because it's my place. Aquafina. Child, what are you doing? What's going on there?
Yeah.
She went from Queens to Mississippi to Alabama to Southern California. I was like, girl, what accent are you trying to do? Because I'm not buying that she just grew up around black people and this is just how she talks. I said on Twitter, Iggy Azalea is more convincing. She has a more convincing accent to me than you do. This, I don't know what that is, but it's atrocious. But it wasn't as bad as I thought it was going to be. She spoke normally for the majority of the film, so I appreciated that.
What percentage would you guys give it? Like,
I would give it. I hated what's that guy, that comedian that plays the plays Awkwafina's dad. I hate him and I hate his character. I could have done completely without him and the brother. So I would say I would give it like a 96.
That's a high rating.
Is that
no? That's
out of 100.
Yeah.
Yes. No, I was just
96
out of what, girl?
No, I was asking.
Out of 137.
You gonna drag me for mug? Okay.
96 out of what?
I'm dead.
I'll give it a 70. I'll give it a 72.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
You know, I still haven't seen it yet. I feel like it hasn't came out in the UK yet. But I also just feel like, can I say something for a second?
Yeah,
Of course.
I feel like, why wasn't Slumdog Millionaire the film that everyone got behind?
Oh,
I feel like it's always like, I feel like there's never ever discourse about what Asian narratives are coming through, and I feel like we're all expected to kind of group behind like a East Asian narrative that's like super classy and all this and kind of homogenize it, but we were never getting behind Slumdog Millionaire. We've never got behind anything that's ever like Southeast Asian. So I feel like it was kind of a wild move seeing like all these people suddenly call like everyone to come out and support it, because I've never seen it be vice versa. And everyone was calling to support it when we've seen how that there's like that anti-black character in it. So I've kind of been putting it off, I'm not gonna lie.
No, I'm really glad you brought that up, because I feel like as an Asian Pacific Islander, there was a lot of pressure, especially from my relatives and my other Asian friends. They're like, "Oh, this movie's so great, you should see it. Like, you're gonna see it, right?" I'm like, "Yeah, I'm gonna see it," but like at the same time, I did have my hesitations, and it was like exactly that. And I'm really glad you brought that up, Travis, because like, yeah, it's when I was watching the movie, I was like, wait, and I saw a few articles come out. There's not actually any Singaporeans in this film. It's it's Crazy Rich Chinese people, and and it's like there's no native Singaporeans. There's like Singapore. I mean, I understand it's made up of a lot of different cultures, but there's no darker Asians in this film, and if they are in there, they're the help. And the only other dark Asian was Nico Santos, and he's Filipino, so I'm like, he's not even Singaporean. So it was a lot of mixed feelings. Like, I think if I just take race completely out of it, it's not my favorite romantic comedy because I'm a big rom-com person. And if I did throw that in there, then my criticisms are exactly what you just brought up. Is that like nobody was raving about Slumdog Millionaire the way we're raving about this, and I don't know. I have to question my other Asian brothers and sisters. Like, why this film specifically? Right. There was an article that was in the New York Times written by Sangeetha Thanapal. I don't know how to pronounce her name. Sangeetha Thanapal. Her Instagram is KALIANDKALKI. Anyway, she was like, she used to live in Singapore, but they basically, like, I don't know what the word is, but they made her move to Australia because she didn't feel safe in Singapore anymore because she's like Muslim, and there's this system in Singapore where you can't be like, if you're Muslim, then you can't work certain jobs, and it was just this weird thing. I don't know a whole lot about Singapore, like the government and the history behind it, but I did feel when I was watching the movie, I'm like, something is off about this. And it did feel like model minority, you know what I mean? Like rich Asians, and it just made me feel like I can't relate to that, even though I am Asian. So, I don't know.
Alan. Well, I do know that the prime minister or president of Singapore is half Indian, which I thought was like interesting because somebody brought that up as a point as to like, why is it that, you know, there couldn't have been other upper class like Indians and stuff in Singapore, but I don't know. That's not my place.
The accent jumped out again.
It sure did. I've just given up. I've just given up. I've just given up. I don't know. It's just gonna come out.
People are just gonna be confused. I remember when we got like a email like from on like episode like 35 about like introducing ourselves because they can't tell our voices, and I feel like that person is very confused this episode with all of the accents that are going around.
Oh so no, darling, that doesn't sound at all like me and Travis.
Oh, why would you?
I don't know what that was, but it doesn't sound like me and Travis actually. So I don't know.
Oh. Okay.
Okay. So anyway,
I'll go in the corner now.
Shut up. Okay, so I guess that's gonna wrap up Minutes of Color. We'll be back with our discourse. Travis Alabanza.
Yay!
Yeah.
Girl.
Happened.
My clap was late.
Your clap so offbeat.
I thought that was Travis. Because of the delay.
Oh, I'm on beat.
Oh wow, we were all together, and John was the late one. That sounds familiar.
Just the look of panic.
I was setting up my stopwatch. Okay, you know what? Welcome to the discourse, everyone.
Oh, we needed that. That was so funny.
Okay. So, hello, welcome back to the Discourse. Travis isn't French, so I don't have to worry about them judging my French accent.
Wait, Travis, can you do an American accent?
Oh yes, please.
Yes.
Please.
Oh, hey, wait. Say something that I need to copy a minute.
You take the 405.
I love waffles with strawberry jam inside of me.
What the fuck?
Oh. I love waffles with strawberry jam inside of me. Oh, shit, what was that? Did I just sound
strawberry? Strawberry. So cute.
That was me trying, but I sound exactly the same. Wait, I feel like it's all really nice. You all say hella a lot. Like, oh, that was just hella like amazing.
Oh no, that's the Bay Area.
That's yeah.
I say hella.
That's because Travis has been to the Bay Area a lot. Isn't your mom? Oh wait, I don't know if I should be.
Yeah. Girl, we haven't got my manager here like poking. You know, like you can't say that. My mom's from the Bay, yeah.
Okay, I just didn't want to get too much. Okay.
Yeah, we say hella a lot here for sure.
Wait,
But my mom's kind of here she's been in the UK for like 25 years, but now when she goes back to the US, people like think she's Canadian.
Oh.
John was actually shook because I actually I told him that you're Filipino as well. John got really excited about that.
I'm still learning like a lot about that part of my identity because it's kind of, I don't really know a lot of parts of my family. Just grew up with my mum and my brother in the UK, so we're kind of still meeting a lot of our family members whilst we're getting older. And then I was like, well, duh, Alabanza. Like, I was like, how did I not figure this shit out before? The surname is so Filipino.
I was thinking that too because, like, I was like, Alabanza. I wanted to ask you, and I'm glad we're recording now because I was like, where is that last name from?
Yeah, it's Filipino, but Spanish, obviously colonized.
Right.
It's Spanish for praise.
I just thought it was like a really I thought it was like a extravaganza. Like I thought it was just like a really great stage name.
Here from the house of Alabanza.
From the house of Alabanza. Let's create that. Let's create the house of Alabanza.
This dumb bitch
we got
said it's
Travis could be our house mother.
Yes.
These are mother stories.
What'd you say, Travis?
I said clean up after your own shit. In the house of
Exactly. Go have us in the hood in London.
The
hood of London.
You're black for sure. Pick that shit up!
Pick that shit up!
Whose eyelash glue? I done told you!
Travis,
wait, why are you doing this American accent?
Cheerio, bitch.
I'm tired. Okay, I'm tired.
God.
You know what? Let's continue. So who wants to go first with questions?
I had a question that wasn't related to.
Well, shouldn't you talk about yourself first? And then,
yeah.
you know.
Oh, right. You know what? This is the ghetto, so we forgot to do that.
Ciao.
Hold on. The discourse. Hold up. The discourse is on me. We're not talking about a topic.
No, yes, you are the discourse.
Oh, the topic.
But you're so interesting.
Let me get into that. Wait, let me change position whilst I'm sat. I was here already.
Change position.
Let me get in a position.
What's that?
I'm in my topic position now.
Let me be a bottom real quick. Hold on, let me move. Oh, it's an interview. Let me be a bottom. Hold on, I was the top. Hold on, let me move. I'm ready.
Wait, what is topic position?
Well, I was like lying down all comfy, and now I'm like, fuck, I'm the discourse. I better sit the fuck up.
Oh, it's an honor.
Okay, Travis is gonna get so tired of this. Okay.
Yeah. Travis, do you want to tell us?
Yeah, so Travis, tell us about you.
Okay, shit. I'm Travis Alabanza from the house of Alabanza, newly formed.
Mother of the year.
Mother of the year.
Yes. I'm an artist that lives in London.
Yes, you are.
And I make like a lot of written work, but I also do theater. And I post pictures online on my Instagram. And I annoy people either on the streets or online.
You said you annoy people?
Yeah, I feel like that's kind of became how I just talk about what my job is. I'm either like annoying people constantly online or annoying people on stage. One of the two.
Which do you prefer?
I feel like
well, online has a filter and I can shut people out. I feel like on stage I annoy people better and I get paid to do it, so that's nicer.
Fuck, what an amazing job.
Yeah, I mean you're big.
I mean,
I never doing tours.
I never really know how to talk about, like, I still haven't managed how to be like, what do I do? Yeah, I mean, it's only kind of been in the last 2 years that I've been able to be, I guess, like, fortunate enough to do this as a full-time job and to be traveling the world and have, I guess, more people listening to what I'm saying and putting out work. it was a hustle, and it's continuing to be a hustle. But yeah, I feel really lucky.
I mean,
but I get to chat to you, girl. But it brings me out here. I get to chat to you, girl.
But sis, you're big. Like, Out magazine listed you as like an influential queer figure.
No, but that was before they heard me.
But like,
well,
Travis, can we ask, or are we allowed to know how old you are and what your sign is?
Yeah, sure. I'm such a baby. I'm 23, and I'm a Scorpio.
Wait, you're a Scorpio?
Yeah.
Oh, yes. We
stand
stand water signs.
Wait, this house supports Scorpios? I thought we were going to hang up the cool.
No. Mark is a Scorpio, so we have to, technically.
Thank you. I'm so thankful for the Scorpios that have stood before me. You know what? I always say that okay, so this I knew the star sign shit was going to come up, and I always am like, I'm always like, fuck, like, do I lie? And then I'm like, no, Scorpio's not going to do.
You said Scorpio's not going to lie.
Wow.
What is your rising in your moon? Do you know?
Yeah, girl, this is when it gets my rising's Sagittarius, so I feel like, you know, that's kind of some balance. My moon's in Scorpio too.
Oh, a double Scorpio.
Wow.
Is that bad?
Yeah,
is that bad?
Blue.
No, you're.
Well, I'm just, you know.
So that
it just means they're very successful.
I was literally about to say the same thing.
Yeah,
I was about to say that means you're very successful.
Is, like, really successful in whatever craft they're doing, you know. So
I just didn't appreciate when I was. Oh, go ahead.
No, you go.
I just didn't appreciate when I was in London and y'all like shaded me for being a Gemini.
Okay, but this discourse isn't about you.
That's fine,
girl.
That's fine.
I forgot you were a Gemini, and now you just brought it up again, and I remembered. And I'm like, damn. Shit.
You know what? Forget you, Travis. It's okay.
How did this get through management? I have a clear contract.
Not management. I'm dead.
Travis has people. You gotta speak to people.
I said specifically no talking to Geminis, no interviews with Geminis in 2018. I'm out.
Wow. Girl, you better go look. You better go talk to your staff because somebody's slipping up. Somebody getting fired.
Me and Beyonce have something in common this week. We're about to fire some people.
Somebody needs to get fired.
Wow, the discrimination on this show is just wow. I'm shaking to my core.
I love every sign. I don't see signs.
I don't. All signs matter. Is that what you're gonna say next?
Ew. No, but I really do love Scorpios. I'm a Cancer, so I have a thing for other water signs. So I love that you're a Scorpio.
Oh,
you love?
I mean, okay. I'm gonna pretend like I get like really excited when I hear people's signs, but if I'm honest, I feel like for me it's just been really helpful because I'm super anxious at queer parties, and it just means that I have something to talk about for someone with 15 minutes.
Okay, actually, wait, that's actually really great because that was actually one of my questions, so that's a great segue. So I know you do like performance pieces, and a lot of your work is spoken and oral. Shut up, John. So does that mean? So like, would you like? Do you get stage fright, and like, how do you navigate that, and like, how do you kind of figure that out, and like, how does that work for you? And do you consider yourself introverted?
Babe, do you think I'm an introvert?
No, I'm asking you. I don't think so.
I didn't think so at all. No, not really. No, not at all.
I feel like I don't know if I've ever gotten like stage fright when I'm on the stage. Like I kind of turn into like a different. God, it's so like cliche, but I turn into like a different version of myself. And I guess when you're also, you know, I'm traveling and doing, you know, last week I was doing 6 shows in 7 days to like every day was to like over 400 people. If I got super nervous every single time, I'd have no energy to do anything else. I'd just be like walking around completely nervous. But I also probably have like, I don't know, I feel like my nerves come out in different ways. Like I start pacing the room, or like I order loads of food before I perform. I'm often like traveling with people, and so I'll just like deflect how nervous I am by like chatting some shit, starting the performance before by just joking around with my friends. But I think I've gotten really used to it, like and I think it's more excitement. Like I normally like, you know, sometimes I get like, I only get nervous when, you know, I was performing in my hometown last week, and I got really really nervous then, because it's like, you got your exes turning up, you got the teacher that you called a fucking cracker turning up, you've got like all these motherfucking people turning up on your doorstep to watch you perform. Then I was like, oh shit, like this is no fucking. But yeah, I kind of don't really deal with stage fright that much anymore.
Wow, must be nice. Congratulations.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like you seem really good at turning it on, because I remember we went to a party the night we met, and like it was like a scene, and we had like, you just like turned on. You know what I mean? Like it was different than the more relaxed version of you that I got to like hang out with
before.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. I think you completely nailed it. Like we went. Yeah, I can't say that on.
Yeah, I was gonna say that. So I was like, I mean,
well, we went to multiple parties that night.
True. True.
True. You know, and one of them, which the party that should not be named. Yeah, I think you saw that. Like, I think I had to, you know, in the last 2 years, I guess in the UK, my visibility has increased, so it's became kind of. I guess that's the harder performance. That's when I get nervous. It's like I don't get nervous on stage, because when I'm like there, I know what I have to do. I have to perform, so I'm ready to perform. I guess like I'm more nervous when like I walk into a club or a thing I'm invited to, and it's like I'm not performing, but I'm still having to like Bae said, having to perform because of people knowing who I am, or the visibility, or like the expectation of
to be
how you are in this space. I find I find that way harder than going on stage.
What do your audiences normally like? What's the makeup of your audiences normally like when you're?
It's so hard because a lot of the time my predominant audience and my following and the people that interact with me in person or the most loudly, I feel like I have to reshift how I think it, like, because I think it's just the people that interact the loudest are white, non-binary, normally coercively assigned female at birth. So a lot of the people that like are interacting with me are like completely different to the things I'm talking about, and also completely different to the experience I'm talking about. But I've kind of latched on to the way I feel like the way the media has portrayed me as like really like pushed the non-binary aspects of my identity, means that they're finding common ground in that, and that tends to be like a huge part of my fan following, which is, it's interesting, it's tough, because I feel like it pushes me to then challenge them, but at the same time, it's really hard because I'm always thinking about like who I made the work for and how I can figure out how to have them in the room too.
Right. Do you?
But it's really fun. Like when.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry.
No, you go. You go.
Oh, it was a follow-up question.
When we were in Glasgow, just like.
Nope, you go. Nope, I'm shutting up.
Sorry,
you go.
we have a delay.
We do this all the time. It's the delay. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. I feel so awkward.
No.
Fine. It's totally fine.
We're the two awkward birds.
When we were in Glasgow. Wait, I'm just going to go. I'm just going to speed through it. Here we go. When we were in Glasgow, which is like up in Scotland, and it's like a smaller place, there was like 20 people of colour that came to our show, which was quite a lot for Scotland. And they
Isn't that where more of the people of colour are? Like, as opposed to Edinburgh?
Oh, yeah, in terms of compared to Edinburgh, yeah, but still, like, in terms of London, like, at a London show, we'll have, like, maybe half of the room, people of colour, whatever. In Scotland, you're lucky, like, you know, the percentage is just lower. And in true black fashion, all the girls turn up late, so I'm already, like, kind of halfway through my set, and I'm like, okay, here's the girls. And they all walk in, you know, and they all got their like face about being late at the back. And I'm like, girls, you were late. But then halfway through my show, I said, okay, actually, we're going to do something. I need all the, I actually said, I was like, I need all the Susan Michelles, the Merediths to stand up and go to the back, and I need all the people of color to come sit down at the front. And we completely shut the room. And I stopped the show to do that because I've stopped wanting to. I'm not gonna shun away my white followers of my work, but I'm also not here to make them comfortable.
Right. I mean, that's interesting. I asked, first of all, you were dead on about Black people being late to things, because at art events, I've noticed Black people come late to everything and be like, "Oh, girl, I thought it was 4:30." No, bitch, it's at 3.
Exactly. And they come in like, congrats sis. I was like, I'm de-installing the show now. They'll come like 2 weeks later when you're de-installing the show, and they'll be like, congrats on your installation.
I'm dead. Like, someone came to look for someone came into my job literally last week and asked for a show that was up 3 months ago and was like, y'all don't have anything? And I was like, no, bitch. Like,
but real quick, John, you had a question at the beginning. I'm sorry, I didn't want to.
I was just going to ask earlier, because we were talking about you being part Filipino. What is that like for you, the process? Are you like trying to reconnect with that side of yourself? And is there a large Filipino community in the UK?
Yes, there is a lot. Well, it's growing. But I feel like because I'm not, I'm read as not Filipino. And I've tried. I will never forget. I dropped out of university like a year in, but I went to, in the first year, there's like had all the like society meetings, and I went to the Filipino society meeting because I was like so gassed. I was like, oh my God, I figured out I'm Filipino. I'm gonna go like meet all these people. Like, wow, this is gonna be so cool. Girl, I walked in the place and they were like, get your black ass out of here. No. What the fuck? Oh my God. No. They were like, wait, this university still has the help. Come in. Oh my God. It was wild. It was wild. And I feel like that's kind of been my experience in the UK, because there's just not as much of like, I feel like, it's probably similar in the US, but I also feel like there's probably a lot more Black and Filipino people, because there's probably like a lot more of a cultural mix and history of that happening. Whereas I feel like in the UK, I have a confusing racial mix up because my Blackness is African American, which already kind of others the way I interact with Black cultural ties in the UK, and then not being Black and white mixed, which I feel like people are more used to, has like really confused a lot of things and people. I'm getting used to it. I'm like trying to reconnect with some Filipino family that I have in the States, but it's hard when you don't know them,
To be honest, they don't like us much more out here either, so okay. That's not just a UK thing.
But I will say there was this one thing, my friend. I recently because I have never really spoken about it in interviews, and I'm starting to speak about it a lot more now and like talk about it or whatever. And my friend sent me a screenshot of like a WhatsApp group they're in, called like Pinoy London or something like that, and then they all had screenshotted a part of an interview I had in a magazine here saying I was like mixed with Filipino, and they were like, oh my God, we've got another one, like Travis is added to the group. Like fucking hell, we have a shining star in our Pino thing. I was like, oh girls, okay, so maybe I'm like gonna get in there now. All it took was like fake social capital and
I was just gonna say that. I was gonna say that because like Filipinos, and this makes me so sad. They're just like, they're quick to claim people like Bruno Mars, Cassie Ventura, Nicole Scherzinger. Like if anyone's like a quarter or 16th Filipino, they'll claim them. But like just regular folks, like like you said, walking into that room, like I can totally see that happening because that's so real. Like even when I go to like Filipino restaurants, if someone like is like vaguely like mestizo, which is like mixed or something, they come in and it's like, oh, what are you doing here? But like if someone of status is like mentions that they're part Filipino, Filipinos are so quick to gravitate toward them, and it makes me so sad, and I'm really sorry that that's your experience, but I hope it gets better.
Yeah, I feel like that's so real. I've definitely noticed now people are driving to it. Now, like, I get, like, these weird... I mean, I delete them off my Instagram, but now I get these, like, pages from, like, Filipino, like, queer Instagrams being like, oh, now we see it in your eyes and stuff like that. And I'm like, this shit is so weird. I'm done.
Oh my god.
I'm done.
Oh, go ahead, Renee.
Is it okay if I ask something, or do you want to?
Yeah, go for it.
No, shut up, bitch.
Wow. I was gonna ask if, like, maybe what was your favorite fan interaction, or like what interaction you had with somebody that like kind of reminded you of how important the work that you're doing is.
Ooh.
Renee was at 24-hour fitness last night and was like, man, I need to see how other people feel when this happens. So that's a great question to ask, Renee. I love that you're relating to personal
usually
experience.
you on topic, but that one was a reach. How's that?
Just every episode, just like, how can I twist what Renee just said to like connect it back to 24
last
hour
week
fitness?
was perfect, but this week I don't know, sis. I don't know about that one.
Because I'm sober this week. That's the issue.
I'm so done.
But go ahead,
Sorry.
Trevor.
Yeah. Hi, Renee. I feel so spoiled being asked questions by you. I'm so gassed. I feel like I have a lot of different interactions that remind me of those moments, and I feel like it always comes from when I get to drop this idea of like a fan, and it's just like, you know, two people that are mutually finding a connection, and that always happens with like other Black GNC girls after the show. Or, you know, what I interestingly find is that like after the show, the people that will feel entitled to my time after shows the most and come up to me and hug me without my consent and grab me and talk to me are always like white. And then I often then like now look to the back of the room and I can see this like shy, awkward Black GNC girl kind of wanting to talk to me, but like wanting to, you know, thinking of all these things that we naturally do when we're oppressed on multiple axes about time and space and labor and energy. And they can see I've just dealt with like, you know, 400 white non-binary G-Fabs telling me I'm inspiring, and they're like catching my eye and they just smile and walk off, and I go up to this girl and I was like, hey, and they were like hey, and I was like, thank you so much for coming to my show, I really appreciate it. And then like all it kind of takes is that for them to then turn around, and it was like I don't really like the compliments that are like, you're so inspiring, etc., etc. I find that quite difficult, and kind of it shuts the conversation down. I don't really know where to go with that. And I also think it's part of like a culture that creates people as perfect, which is like not what I'm interested in at all. They just turned around and was like, you know what, like from your work I really figured out ways that I could be more of myself. But not only that, I've realized that I find GNC people so fucking hot and talented and beautiful. And I was like, great. Like, that's just, that kind of shit makes my day. When I'm like, when another GNC girl is turning around and saying like, through your work, I've realized that we're the answer, we're the gift, we're like not the problem, is so much more rewarding to me than hearing like, you're inspiring, you're great, because that's individualizing something which for me isn't about individualizing. You know, I feel like Instagram culture, celebrity culture, you know, like all these woke Twitter, all these places are about building individuals up as like these perfect figures, and that was never what I was interested in. That's never what my work was about. I'm constantly saying in my shows how imperfect and fucked up and messed up I am, and so when one of the girls say like, whenever the girls say like,
was that Renee?
Renee's like, girl, I didn't ask for this fucking dissertation.
I really
appreciate.
No, we appreciate it. It's okay.
Not to uplift you and individual.
I want people to shout like, you're fucking crap, get off the stage. But I just love that so much more. I just love when people are finding ways for my work to be about us rather than me.
That's beautiful, yeah. Fuck, I'm trying not to do what you just said. Not to do.
No, seriously. Like, so what's
but seriously, I understand that. I hear that for sure.
I've been making like the Chrissy Teigen like the teeth face, like, ooh, because like that's what I wanted to say was that Travis is very inspiring. I'm like, oh yikes, not gonna say it.
But also it's different coming from another gender non-conforming trans person, right? Like it's always going to be different, and I think that what I'm learning is that mainly the inspiring, when it comes from like a white gaze, when it comes from a cis gaze, for me feels not real. It feels like a meme. It feels like seeing me only in relation to my performance, right? Because that's when they're comfortable to see us, right? Whereas I feel like when it comes from like another trans feminine person, a GNC girl, I know that we can simultaneously see me as inspiring whilst also saying this person can probably be fucked up too, and this person can probably be staying in bed all day too. Whereas I feel like white people really, I mean, they can't really grasp multiple things at once. They haven't quite evolved in that way.
That's such a great way of putting it.
That is so funny.
They can't multitask.
Do you ever feel like
cannot multitask? They clap and tap their feet at the same time. They're out. They fall over.
we can clap,
clap and tap their feet at the same time?
They fall over.
I can't.
Bitch, I can't.
I'm dead.
So my question actually is, wait, were you done answering?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Go. Yeah.
Okay, so my question was in relation to what you had just said about like the way the media presents you, and I remember we were having a conversation when we met up, and you said that you don't identify as, or not necessarily that you don't identify, but you don't necessarily call yourself non-binary. You call yourself trans, and I remember you explaining it at the time, but like, you know, I would just like to have you restate it, you know, for the listeners.
Yeah. I feel like non-binary is like a word that was definitely put on me in terms of like a way that when I was, I guess 3 years ago, when like people started to first talk about me in public sphere and like the media, etc. They kind of grouped me alongside like this like quote unquote new wave of non-binary artists in the UK and people outside of the gender binary. And I guess I didn't really protest then because I didn't really understand how I had control yet. Like I feel like I'm only just getting control over my narrative in the last year. Mm-hmm. And I realized that the word doesn't make me like squirm, like I can do it, but actually I was like, hold on a minute, they're using this word for me and it's actually not a word that I've ever found myself. It was a word that I would describe how I was feeling and people said, oh, you're non-binary. Mm-hmm. And they would never let me say what I am. I would say, oh, I don't feel like a man, I don't feel like a woman. And then they would go, that's it, that you're non-binary. And I feel like I really respect and love whatever people choose to do, and if that word helps them, then that word helps them. But I think for me, I've always found the word hard because, one, it recenters a binary that I'm not interested in. By like saying you're not the binary, I feel like it really, for me, recenters it. But also I feel like the word has been used and co-opted to make sense of trans people, right? Like, I feel like there's this way that how trans politics is working at the moment that we still have to be making sense to everyone. So we have the trans woman, the trans man, and then we have this middle thing, non-binary, and that's people's way of being like, oh, I understand us. And I think for me, I'm like, okay, maybe I'll use that when I don't have 10 minutes to explain myself. But my gender's not really about being understood. Like, I'm not fighting for people to understand me. I'm fighting to not get beaten up on the streets. I'm fighting for people to not be incarcerated. I don't need Susan to understand everything about me. I just need her to stop killing me. So I feel like non-binary has been like a way of making us palatable. This is my opinion, and that's not to say that people that use non-binary are doing that. That's just for me personally. What I could see it was doing to me was flattening out my gender, and I was like, hold on a minute, like I've actually never used this word in the last 2 years. But you Google my name, and that's all that comes up, and I just thought that was kind of wild, as if the press was trying to make sense of me too.
So, I mean, a few years ago, I'm sure you can explain it a little bit better than I can, but you kind of exploded in the media when you tried to use the women's fitting room at Topshop, correct?
Oh, yeah, girl. Yeah.
I'm sorry, is this uncomfortable?
No, No. Y'all came through for me on that one. I remember. Didn't you mention it in one of the?
Yeah, we did.
You were in the Minutes of Color.
Yeah.
Wow. So true podcast of color fans will know that I'm not new here, bitch. I've been here.
Yes. Because I'm still here. Here.
Oh, it's
but yeah, so that happened, and it was, in fact, supposedly not one of their policies, but I guess the employees at that particular store were being dicks about it. And
it was wild. It was hard to describe to people in the States what was happening. Although I do think it was on their Snapchat news, so people started seeing it on their Snapchat news, so they knew it was like really popping off because it hit their like US Snapchat news that day. Like I don't know, I wasn't using Snapchat, so I didn't know, but apparently on Snapchat you have like a news. I don't know
either. Rihanna said it was dead, and I haven't used it since.
Yeah, exactly. But it hit the US too. Fox had done like an online stuff with it as well. It was horrible, girl, because what got lost in all of the reportings of it is like obviously all the details and the nuance. But I don't want to bore you all by saying it all if you're like, Travis, wrap this shit up.
No.
Dude,
let's hear it.
This is about you. This is your time to shine, please.
I'm the discourse.
You are the discourse.
But I wasn't in London when it happened, so I was in Manchester, the north of England, because I was in a theatre show starring there. So I was actually living away from home, and I feel like that was missed in a lot of the context, because this wouldn't have happened in a London store. It was like specifically happening because I was in a northern kind of less. I mean, it happens in London stores, but I mean the reason the news picked up on it, I feel like London news days are a lot faster. There's a lot more things happening, but because this was like Manchester, it first hit the local news and then went to national news. The real tea that's hilarious is that like Topshop had previously been emailing me to do brand work with them. Like that was all behind the scenes.
Shut up.
They never
we
said
love
in any.
tea.
Yeah, girl, they never said this in any of the press, and like it was. Anyway, so I was going there to shop for a press night because it was the press night of our theatre show the next day, and I was with some of my castmates. And I was with some of my castmates, and I said, I was just like, I'm just gonna go try on this dress with you all, and then the lady was like, no, and I was like, okay, I know how to deal with this. I've done this before. I was like, oh, just to let you know, it's actually policy now.
Oh, you knew the policy.
Oh God.
Okay, wow. I mean, but that sucks that you even had to know that.
Of course. This happened to my friend like 2 weeks before. So I was like, I know the policy. I've seen this online before. So I was like, oh, just to let you know, like, it's actually policy for you to let me in. I'm really not trying to cause a fuss. I'm just trying to try on this dress and go. I was like, I'm trying to shop for a press night, so it's in your good interest for you to let me have this dress. And she was like, yeah, you can have the dress, but go downstairs. And I was like, oh, I'm not going to go downstairs. I'm going to get beaten up if I go downstairs. I'm in like I was in makeup and a dress, trying on a dress. And this is what really fucked me up in the media, because they brought out all these pictures of me when I'm like wearing, trousers and a t-shirt and no makeup, suggesting that was when I was going to go into the changing rooms. And that would still be another conversation to have. But when I'm in jeans and trousers, I'm not being silly. Like, I go where I'm gonna feel safe, and I knew in that moment I was in a dressing heels. I'm not gonna go down to Top Man or whatever. And I was like, God, this is silly. And then she was like, I'm sorry, it's store policy. Like, you're gonna make the other customers feel uncomfortable. And that's when I kicked off. And I was like, and this I did kick off. I was like, that's ridiculous. Like, who's going to be uncomfortable? And then my black ass started screaming like out to the people in the changing rooms, like, come out here if I'm going to be uncomfortable. Come out here. Da, 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 da. And then, I did the line. I said to her,
this is very mean.
I was about to say the bass jumped out. Like, I
was like, you're going to really regret this, because I'm going to make a formal complaint. I was like, this isn't the hill for you to die on, but here we go. So I left and I made a tweet, and then I went to bed, and then I wake up and my show was launching that night in Manchester, like to like 1,000 people, really big show. So I was thinking about how it was the launch of like maybe the biggest night of my career up to the point. And I wake up and I said I was going to lie in, like all of us in the cast were going to lie in. And I wake up and I've got 725 notifications on my phone and a text. And I look at them, but then I see a text from my then boyfriend at the time and says, and it says, you're going to have lots of notifications. Just ring me straight away. I'll explain everything. And I was like, what's happened? And I rang them up and they were like, you're all over the front page. It's really, really bad. They've said that you're the one that's changed the Topshop policies to include trans people. So they'd falsely made the story that because of my tweet, because basically overnight that tweet went viral and then Topshop replied back to my tweet, sorry, Travis, this policy has now changed. What they meant was this policy has always changed. It shouldn't have happened. But that dumbass, inconsiderate tweet made it then mean that the papers thought that from my tweets, I had changed the policy due to my tweet, due to it going viral. So then that sparked all these debates. So and this was happening at the same time. And what got lost is that at the moment in the UK, we're going through something called the GRA reform. So there's like a public vote for the first time about trans people and whether we have the right as trans people to self-identify. And the GRA reform was announced the same week as my Topshop incident. So what then happened was my Topshop incident was used as a reason to go against the GRA reform. So then I was on TV, every single newspaper, and then it was like non-stop. I got shouted at in the street. People heckled me in the middle of my show. It was like fucking
people paid money to go to your show to heckle you?
To heckle me, girl. People tweeted the theater that I was working at, being like, you need to drop this person. They're a danger to women and children. Girl, it was, and I was away from home. You know, I wasn't in London. None of my fags were here. I had none of my friends around me. I was also starring in the show that night, in like the biggest night of my career. It was wild and like getting shouted at on the street. And then we thought it had died down. Like it was like 6-7 days of just like non-stop Twitter shit. I gave off all my accounts to my friends. Every day they would like message me what was happening, like interactions wise and how, if it was going down. And on Friday night we were like, it started on Monday, and by Friday my friend that was managing all my accounts sent me the report at the end of the day and was like, it's finally gone down. You've gone from getting like 400 mentions per minute to like 10 mentions per minute. I think they're like dying down. But then on Saturday, in one of our big main right-wing newspapers, they did the article that went kind of famous, which was children sacrificed to appease trans lobby. And they used my picture and compared me to a pedophile.
Wow.
Holy shit.
Wow.
It was, girl, it was just the most. It really taught me so much. You know, I figured out then, like, where the real bitches were at and who was really gonna be by your side when shit goes wild. But also, you know, I feel like it's nearly a year on from that, and I'm only just getting to grips with the amount of visibility that had given me, like, without volunteering. You know, my work was already visible, but I was very much known for my art, and then suddenly overnight, there was all these new groups of people that knew me, and not for anything other than this moment.
And that's what I was gonna ask you about, because I was like, I just sometimes, like, when a tweet like of mine goes viral, like, just like the response that I get from that, I can't imagine what that would be like tenfold when you have like niggas out in the wild, like, fucking with you when you walking down the street. Like, that's gotta be insane.
Yeah, it was wild. It was really, really hard. I mean, the worst moment for me was when my mum, I didn't really tell my mum what was happening. You know, I was just too busy. I was also trying to just do the show, and I was just really trying to focus on that. And so I didn't really tell my mum what was happening. I kind of didn't tell anyone. I didn't really talk to anyone for a week. I just turned my phone off, and my friends were checking in on me, but I didn't really, like, you know, because there was a conversation. People were like, do you want to respond? Like, do you want to go on the media? Kind of, you know, because I remember when that, I don't know if the stuff that happened with Monroe got over to you.
Yeah, definitely. I heard all about that. Monroe Bergdorf, for those of you that don't know.
So, yeah. So my sis, Monroe, obviously that happened to her, and I remember the day it happened to her, we created this, like, group message, and we talked about responses and all that, and I kind of watched her do that, and I was like, you know what, I'm actually, that really worked, and I'm so proud of how she's managed to turn that shit moment into like a really more like, you know, she's kind of like, fuck L'Oreal, look at all this other stuff I'm doing. But I kind of made the choice in that moment that I wasn't strong enough really to, like, I was being offered to go on BBC, offered to go on all these, and I said I'm not going to respond. So I just stayed silent. I just like watched it all happen. But it meant that I didn't really talk to my mom or anything. And the saddest moment was when my mom texted me on the weekend being like, why has my boss text me from work asking if you're a pedophile?
Oh
Oh,
no!
wow.
I was like, what? And I was like, okay, mom, we're gonna have to call up. So I had to give my mom like kind of trans 101, like, hey mom, there's a history of like trans people being called predators and pedophiles. They'll constantly do this to trans feminine people. I've not gone anywhere near any kids. This is all just like literally fabrication because I went into a changing room. This is what they're going to do. There's a history of using women and girls as a reason to pit us against trans people. I had to do all that to my mum on a Saturday over the phone whilst I'm like 150 miles away. It was wild.
I'm sorry.
Yeah. And I'd only just turned 23. Like, it was my birthday the week before.
Oh my
God. I was also just like, I felt like a baby, you know, like I think so much in my work people obviously assume I'm way older, and I feel a lot older because of all the stuff I'm managing and doing, but in that moment I felt like 5 years old. I was like, I just want to cry.
Oh,
I'm sorry, sis.
I'm sorry.
But Topshop, girl, here's the real gag. This is my last little thing on it. Topshop gave me a £25 voucher.
25 pounds?
£25.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
Wait, that's
for the dumb bitches in the room, how much is that?
Yeah, that's in dollars.
It's not even
like
double
$40.
anymore. So what is that? What is it, like 30? Oh, $40? Not anymore. That's like 35 now.
That can't even get you a t-shirt.
Yeah.
Right?
$40.
Bitch, I would have took the t-shirt. Shit.
Their button-ups are like $70.
What the fuck?
3 months later, they sent me an automated message being like, we're so sorry for your inconvenience.
Automated.
We value and like trust our customers. Here's a voucher. And I was like,
shut up.
God. Yeah, it was fucking wild.
What a
That is
slap in the
garbage.
face.
Ooh, you are better than me, because someone would have had to die. Like,
But
I would have been on BBC talking about these niggas here.
I would have been on Snapped.
Oh, CNN talking to what's that nigga's name?
Don Lemon.
Don Lemon. Like, can you believe?
But Travis, you got
it was.
Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go.
Oh, I was gonna say, but then, like afterwards, you got to work with Mac and ASOS, right?
Yeah. I did the Mac for ASOS campaign. Which was really great. It was really cool to be able to have like a positive experience with a store. I guess I'm like, girls, I'm really biting my tongue. Fuck, we're gonna have to edit that out, aren't we? I guess for me, campaigns are never like my goal. Like, my goal isn't to do lots of campaigns. My goal isn't to like kind of go into that world. I think it's if they come along and it works and it's right for me at the time. But I think that maybe a year and a half ago, I would have been super, super excited about it. And now I guess for me, I've learned probably through the Topshop thing and just all of that like the media is like really not where I'm trying to like situate myself in the center. Like, I really need to refocus people back to my art, remind people that I'm an artist, remind people that's what's like happening, because I think what's happened in the last year and a half is just like, it's just been media. And like, that means that people forget, because I guess oppressed people can't be multiple things at once, right? We can't like, no one ever allows us like complexity to be like different things. They just remember you for like the thing that's most valuable to them, right? So, but I liked the Mac and ASOS campaign. I got some cute makeup out of it, and it was cute. But I find campaigns really hard. I get really nervous. I get really shy in like the studio. I don't know what happens. We asked about stage fright earlier. Put me in front of like in those video shoots and next to all the models, I'm frozen. I was literally in the middle. I was acting so awkward. The photographer was like, "Are you okay?" I was like trying to move my head. You know when Tyra's like trying to give, you know, when Tyra's trying to give in the episodes of ANTM when Tyra comes to be her own photographer, and there's always that one girl that really fucks up, and you can see Tyra's really disappointed. That's always me.
Oh,
always me.
Wow.
But Travis,
It's like, Travis, I've got two.
Oh, what?
No, you go.
I was gonna say that's so interesting hearing this from you because, like, I love your Instagram and like you're always serving in every photo, and I'm just like, and I just like to hear that like you're like awkward in these situations is kind of like it's interesting because I don't know. I'm always like, man, your poses are always so good. You're out like your styling and that's all you too, right? So I'm always like really amazed by all of it.
I'm still not over that dress. The Pirates of the Caribbean meets Wuthering Heights. That's what I called it, and I think
girl,
that look, that pose.
Mm-hmm.
I'm giving Wuthering Heights cunt Downton Abbey pussy realness.
Exactly.
That was a real ye old trans realness.
Ye old trans realness.
Ye old trans.
Bitch. Oh my god. I'm still not over that photo shoot that you did with Alok, with your hair down, bitch, because you never have your hair down. I was like, that was everything.
Ariana shaking, letting your hair down, a concept.
Exactly. Everyone got too used to my high bun, you know? And if Ariana can do it, I'm here too. God is a woman.
Better promote.
But exactly. But yeah, I mean, I get it. I guess I get like nervous because I'm always just like, where can this image go? Like, I've been turned into a meme so many times. Like, I'm constantly scrolling on Facebook, just like relaxing, and I'll see like a picture of mine that I really liked that's turned into like a horrible meme about something to do with shit. So I guess for me, I'm always like, I think the internet has really fucked me up, you know, in lots of ways. If I'm being really honest. Yeah. If the discourse is getting really real. I mean, I feel like I talked a bit with Baze about that because Baze, you were surprised that I was funny when we met, right? Or what was
it wasn't that I was surprised. It wasn't that I was surprised that you were funny. I just was like, okay, like I think I did expect you to be like a little bit more reserved, and I was surprised at like how just like you're just so completely warm just from the minute I sat down and I just like I didn't necessarily expect that. Not that I thought you would be like a bitch, but you know what I mean? Like I thought you would be more reserved, I guess.
Oh, I'm still a bitch, definitely, but I think it's like 100% a bitch. Test results came back. 100% a bitch. But
23andMe.
Bye. But I think it's like the internet has fucked me up because it's forced us to create these modes of ourselves that we know are going to be like heavily scrutinized. And I guess that I was definitely on the other side of that before. I would definitely be one of the, and I probably still am. Like I was over scrutinizing the people I was following. I was looking at every aspect they were doing, projecting onto them like these narratives. And I think that's the hardest part of my job now. It's like not the performing, not the real life stuff. Your girl like was a private Instagram 2.5 years ago, 3 years ago. And I never had MySpace. I never had Tumblr. I didn't know how to use the internet. So the internet was like a real new, like, last 4 or 5 years thing for me. So that's the thing that really fucks me up the most. I'm like, this, like, version in these photos and all of that. But, I'm trying to, look at me sounding emotional as if I'm going to change. I'm never going to post a fucking ugly pic, because why would I? I'm going to be like one of the, you know those body posy pages that are like, the angle of me slipping, like I don't want to give you like I want you to know that I'm a real person. Here's a bad photo of me. No. I want my grid to look good. No.
Exactly. I feel that. Yeah. So, did you guys have any other questions?
No. I have a question. I just don't know if we have I guess if there's a fast way to answer, but I think you were saying this earlier, you know, with the whole, with fans telling you you're an inspiration and all this, like, do you feel Do you feel like it's unfair at all, or maybe it's a lot of pressure to be a representative of the non-binary trans community, like to be looked at as that person all the time? And like, how do you handle that sort of...
I guess I remind myself that like I also, growing up as like a gender non-conforming, not quite sure if I'm a boy, girl, it kind of person, was desperately looking for people to relate to, and people that were looking like they were succeeding because of, not despite of, their transness, and people that were seeing their transness as gifts and good things. I was looking for that too, so I always remind myself that like when that's happening towards me, like it's completely understandable, because we are taught that we have to hide all these things in order to succeed and flourish. And then, you know, my work is about saying, actually, the world is better because of us. I think that I just remind people that I'm not representing anyone but myself, and that a side effect of oppression and a result of oppression is that we force singular marginalized people to become whole groups of people, because to allow them to just be themselves would be for them to be too complex. So I think so often people would try and catch me out and be like, well, I spoke to this other non-binary person and they disagreed with you and they didn't like you. And I said, I mean, I'm so happy to hear that. Mm-hmm. Wouldn't it be so fucking boring if everyone was saying the same thing as me? Like, you know, I feel like I just remind people that I'm just speaking for myself, and I'm glad that it resonates with people, and I'm glad that if it helps one person get through their day, then that's a bonus. But trans people are so much more complex than just having one representative, you know? I'd rather we build each other up to represent ourselves.
Yeah.
Also, fuck having a 23-year-old as our representative. We can do better than that. I ain't trying to be ageist, but come on, give me some time. Ask me that question at face.
Yeah. So, speaking of the things that you are doing, the artist that you are, the performer, what are you doing? What are you working on right now? I'm sorry?
House of Alabanza.
House of Alabanza, exactly. House Mother, what are you working on right now, and what's coming up for you?
Oh, my children. Depending on when this comes out. When does this come out?
It comes out tomorrow.
In like 3 hours.
Yeah. it'll be out when you wake up.
Yeah.
Wow. Damn. Okay, well, this next Monday, so Monday the 3rd of September, we're launching my new theatre show, Burgers, for its national tour, and Dazed are covering the official launch with all the promo images and films. So that'll be launching on Dazed next Monday, and tickets go on sale for people in the UK. So I'm just about to go into like basically a new theatre show. Yeah. And we... Huh?
You said just. I'm just about to do this.
Just about, yeah. We're in a busy week. So all the press will be coming out for that next week. And I start rehearsals for that in 2 weeks. And then the show hits in October for like a 2-month run in London and then across the UK. And then I think we're bringing it out to the US in early 2019.
Okay, because I missed you when you were in New York, so I need you to come back.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna do it properly this time because I missed out on the West Coast. I'm gonna properly come around.
Ooh. Yeah, she's coming to LA, the Bay.
Yay!
Yeah. Yes.
Please come to LA. Come down. Let's kiki.
Yeah, you gotta show me what's good.
Oh, for sure.
My studio's always open.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. So yeah, I'm about to make a show. Apart from that, I'm moving house. That's what I'm doing this week too. I'm just moving house.
Okay.
And being a bad bitch, you know.
Yay!
The simple things, you know.
Not being a bad bitch. Just the simple things in life.
Just the little things, you know.
I was gonna actually honey roast you, but now that No, I don't think that would be such a good idea.
We're going to individualize.
Yes, but I do want to say that I have a lot of love for you, and I appreciate you. And I appreciated the love that you gave me and how welcoming you were to me when I was in your side of the world, your side of the ocean. So
we had so much fun hosting you. We're still talking about it. We're like, girl, you just fit. Your girl really slid right into our group. It was hard. It was hard to let her go. We were out. I was out here like, maybe we need to like do an alternative world where like Faith is on the podcast in London. Like, what is this? I was like, damn. But
I can't wait to come
the
back
invitation
out.
is open to every trash bag that comes to London.
Oh, yeah.
You're all.
Does that invitation include a plane ticket?
Are you asking a trans person of color to do labor to get you over the goddamn country and the ocean?
Wait. That's my management coming in. She's saying, cut the bag.
I'm not asking, girl. My bank account's asking. That's all.
Okay. Does anybody? I mean, so unfortunately, we did run a little long. Not unfortunately to that aspect, but unfortunately, unfortunately, we won't be able to do Male of Color today.
Were you gonna say unfortunately for you?
Huh?
Were you gonna say unfortunately for you?
No. I was just saying, unfortunately, we weren't going to be able to do that part of it. But I actually think it was for a very good reason because we got to have more time with Travis.
Yep.
Thank you. Travis.
But yeah, does Rakeem have any announcements this week?
I cannot.
Girl, you have one every week. This is not shade. This is just facts.
I do.
Of course. Go ahead, girl. She's booked. She's busy.
No, just Big Dipper's album just came out. Who's also our Reverie sister, who I shot the album artwork for. So congratulations to him. And actually, I think there's 50 or 50 to 70 photos that we've taken that are supposed to be released at some point that just haven't yet. So those will happen. And also, I just finished shooting all of the images for the show that I'm doing in September with Ramon. So I'm very, very excited about that. So, that will be September 18th through September 30th. And then, yeah, there'll be things, but it'll come later.
Yay! I have a quick announcement, if I can. I'll be doing a workshop at Project Q Salon in Chinatown, September 9th. It's going to be a workshop on PrEP, how to access PrEP, and a safe sex workshop. So if anyone wants to come, it's going to benefit, again, the LGBTQ homeless youth. So if you can come, check it out, and every dollar that you come in and spend will be towards that. So yay!
Thank you.
Baze, do you have any announcements? Any travel plans?
Well, my ass is getting fatter, so that's really good.
Yes, we stand.
No.
Wait, your ass is fatter than the last time we... How?
I've been hitting them squats.
Girl,
you squats really hard, and I'm eating lots and lots of protein.
Let me explain to the listeners. Baze's ass is gigantic, to the point where it's in the way. Like when we were getting dinner when Baze was last here, Baze turned and knocked a table, and me and John were like, "What the fuck?" How?
Okay, but bitch, it can always get bigger, and that's what's most important.
How?
Why not?
It gets bigger.
Is it wrong to want more for myself?
No, I'm just saying.
Nicki Minaj video.
I'm just asking. Where does this? Just be careful, girl. It's a weapon.
Okay,
back
girl.
there.
I'm just trying to get on my Kim K. I want them skinny little legs and the big butt. I want an ant booty.
Ant booty?
Yeah, I want to look like the ants.
What is that, like Taylor Swift? I don't get it.
No, ants. You don't know how ants look with their big butts and their skinny legs?
Oh, sorry. Oh, wow. That just...
A Bug's Life indeed.
Are you a furry?
Yes. Okay. So I think I don't have anything to announce. I was just fucking with y'all. Rakeem, do you want to give our outro?
Sorry, I just got your joke. You said A Bug's Life indeed. I hate you.
Lord Jesus.
Ooh,
Are we delayed?
Yes. No.
Oh, girl.
Sorry. I just got it. Anyway, so yes, you can find us on Trash of Color on Twitter. You can find us everywhere else at Podcast of Color. Again, send in honey roast and any emails you have to podcastofcolor@gmail.com. And we will see y'all next week.
Wait. Don't forget to like and subscribe on our YouTube channel. And also, please comment and rate us on iTunes because it is really important to us.
Where can we find Travis?
Yeah, exactly. Oh, yes.
I thought we said that.
No, we haven't.
Oh.
Travis, do you want to tell us where people can find you?
No.
I'm sorry. No, bro, it's 3:46 in the morning here. I think I just dozed off. I'm so sorry.
Oh no.
It is totally fine. Where can we find you, Travis, online?
Travis Alabanza. All social medias. Oh, wow.
Child, the ghetto. The ghetto. All right.
This is what we get next time. Look, one day we're gonna have a budget and we're just gonna fly you out to have you on the show.
Oh.
We have a budget, we can fly you out, bitch, too.
True. The Podcast of Color goes to London. I'm here for it.
Podcast of Color.
Real.
Podcast of Color goes to London.
Goes to London. Alrighty then. Well, cheerio.
Cheerio, listeners.
This podcast is executively produced by Aaliyah J. Daniels, LaShawn McGee, Damian Pelliccioni, Christopher Rodriguez, John Kagandahan, Keem Cunningham, Baze White, and Renee Hernandez.